this life.
Please. Glasses on, glasses off. Oh my God, I look even deader. Put these things on.
I'm not cutting that out, by the way. Welcome to another episode of Where's the Remote? I'm your host, Steven, and I'm joined here by my amazing co-host, Regine. How are you doing, friend? How's life?
Every Wednesday, I hate, one Wednesday, I'm going to have a better, update. Like, life is good. Like, it's like, I'm manifesting that. Like, that's going to happen. Today, not. So,
And you know what's funny? For how much work we put into this show, we almost never speak outside of recording.
no.
Like, maybe a tweet here and
couple
there.
thoughts.
Yeah, but outside of that, like, I really have no idea what's going on unless she posted something on Instagram or
Yeah.
she tweets something. I'm like, oh, okay.
It don't be much going on either.
I mean, hey, listen,
I'm resting.
we all trauma bonding at this point.
Not trauma bonding. That's crazy. Terrible child.
But let's actually get into why we're here. We're here for another episode. I believe it was last week's episode. You guys should know that we are no longer covering The Last Frontier because it's not good. We're still watching.
Hi.
We're still watching,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and we're going to give our season review at the end. But to go every week butchering this show is not the best sort of content that we want to put out here. And we're not alone. I don't know if it was one of your friends, and I don't know if you've seen it, but somebody commented on Instagram, was like, yeah, we're hate watching it too. And I was like, listen, we really trauma bonding. We're really trauma bonding because it's not good TV.
It's not. Like, literally watching it until the end just to see, is it going to take a left or right? Like, we're just waiting for it to drop. If it drops, we know it's not, but you just got to see it through. Some things you just got to see it through. This is one of that's it for me, at least. I got to see it through, at least.
I'm only seeing it through because you're seeing it through, and I'm trying to be a good friend. Because if it was up to me, I would have been watching this shit in the first place. Wouldn't have been watching it in the first place. And what's crazy, that's this last point I'll make.
Yeah.
I was randomly on TikTok, and there's one of these content creators. I don't know if you've seen him. A black man. He watches a lot of TV, and he'll give his reviews of oh, this is good. He'll give a 1-sentence review of each show, and it's this is trash. You should watch this. You should watch it. I just happened to catch his stuff, which is funny because I haven't seen him for a while. Happened to catch his stuff, and he's going through his shows, and then he gets to Last Frontier. I'm like, yeah, he's about to tell us this shit is trash. And he was like, nah, this is great. Y'all need to tune in. And I'm like, huh? What?
Who was he talking about? Like, what? Where? Where is it good? Where?
The credits when it ends.
I'm looking for it. I love the snow. I love the scenery.
The rolling credits when it ends. That's the best part. And the worst part is because I think I watched something in relation to it recently, and it was from the creators of The Blacklist, and I'm like, how?
Yeah,
Blacklist was good.
Blacklist, yeah.
It wasn't the best towards the end. Because it starts to get repetitive, and then it's yo, it's been 10 seasons. Is he the dad or not?
Yeah.
Then now you're telling me, I think at the end, I think he did a sex change. I don't know what was going on. It was too much. It was too much. It was good up until they killed, and I know we're going off for this tangent, but when they killed off the her fiance, who was a secret agent, that's when it was all right, y'all doing too much. Because he was actually compelling, because it was oh, here's this guy, you don't know how he's tied in, and then wait, he's been an agent this whole time. I don't know.
I like watching Last Frontier on Fridays, good, relaxing off of the week, just to see some BS, just to get through the night. That's what I did.
It's background noise for me. Background noise.
Basically. Calmness.
Yes. But for this week, we wanted to do something a little bit different. It's kind of a topic based, but kind of a little bit fun. And we're doing a game of what if. If you're familiar with what if, it's, I guess, somewhat more recently popular in terms of like Marvel has like a what if comic book series of like classic
Mm,
stories, and then they'll like change up the stories or whatever. So we figured a what if for like big TV shows that we've watched and
mm,
like so many pivotal moments that happen in these shows, what happened if they took a different route? And so some examples we wanted to put out, like what if Ned Stark never lost his head?
that's a good
What
one.
if Walter White got caught in season 1? What if Stringer Bell doesn't die? Like so many shows could have
So
turned
many
out
things.
differently
Yeah.
if they would have took a different route. So
Yeah.
we figured it'd be fun to like go through some of these shows and like see what would be the domino effect if things played out um differently. I don't know if you will have any major points that you want to state before we start to jump in.
No, no, I'm excited to play the game. I'm
Yes,
excited to play the game
we'll
personally.
see how it goes, but so basically gonna be covering like the pivotal moments in each show and why they mattered, like some of the immediate aftermath that would change because of the what if scenario, some of the like ripple effects that come from it. Would the show be better or worse because of it? And then would the shows still be a cultural phenomenon
Yeah.
that it became had these events played out a little bit differently? And obviously, I think there's no better show to start with than Game of Thrones,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
that show is
Yeah.
literally a bunch of what ifs
Yeah.
from beginning to the end. Probably the end is the
Literally.
biggest what if ever.
Like, honestly, Ned, like when I probably rewatch it again for like how many other times I've watched it.
Hmm.
Like when they cut Ned's head off, it was like, hold on, wait, because Ned was such like that first season, such like a main character. Like if you didn't know that was going to happen, you were like, okay, Ned is definitely going to the end. Like he
Right.
is someone that we want to see throughout the series, and then he's cut, literally, he's cut.
You're out of here.
Cut. Cut. Would Arya be the badass killer that she was if that never
Uh-huh.
happened?
Uh-huh.
Would the whole Stark family have died if that never happened?
Uh-huh.
Would
Uh-huh.
Jon Snow be the badass that he was? If he never
Uh-huh.
really like if he could have maybe learned who he was from his dad?
Right.
So many
Right.
things.
So
So
many
many things.
things. So as you mentioned, Ned Stark, he's executed in season 1, episode 9. I think Game of Thrones is probably the first TV show where a central character is killed off in like the first season.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are other shows where major characters die in the first season or things of that nature, but the way that they position season 1 of Game of Thrones is like Ned Stark is literally at the top of the pyramid in comparison to everybody else that we see on the show. And it'll be interesting, and maybe I should have done research on this, like how much screen time he has in comparison to the rest of the characters. Because I
Mm.
would assume that he had a lot of screen time. He might be one of the few characters that like interacted with everybody else that we see on the show. And so when he dies in episode 9, obviously most of us are like, all right, something's gonna happen. They about to pull him out, or somebody's gonna stop. But
Yeah.
no, the guillotine keeps going. Well, it wasn't a guillotine. I
The
forgot what they
sword.
call. Yeah, the sword keeps the sword cut that flesh quick, cut that flesh quick. And so I think everybody was in shock, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay, if you could kill off the main character, anybody is susceptible for dying,
And
which is
basically
what
the
created the
theme.
cultural
Yeah.
phenomenon of Game of Thrones. So yes, what if Ned Stark doesn't get executed? What if, and we have a couple options here. What if he's sent to the Night's Watch instead?
Mm.
So some of the domino effects that may come from that is maybe they discovered the White Walker threat early and that it doesn't get prolonged for so many different seasons. You shake your head. I
I
mean,
can't see Ned. No, 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 no. Can't see it.
yes and no, because he was such a noble individual. If there was a reasoning for him to go over there, he would have figured some reasoning. he would have figured out a reason to be over there, or if he was forced over there, and then because of how noble he is, which is kind of like Jon Snow to a certain extent, of like wanting to change the culture and change the dynamic of like
Yeah.
how the Night's Watch operated. So maybe he would have not necessarily agreed to go over there, but I could have foreseen him like, all right, I'm here, I may as well be productive and like do something. But yeah,
I don't
if he
think that
gets
was
in,
good TV.
I mean, who knows? Who
I don't think
knows?
that's good TV.
We don't know. We just don't know because
I
so
don't
many
see
things change.
I don't see it for my young, Ned Stark. Don't see it. Don't see it, don't see it.
Perhaps. But
Okay.
yeah, so possibly we discover the White Walker threat early, which means maybe they're a bit more prepared, and maybe we get some sort of unification
From all the kingdoms.
from all the different lands
Yeah.
prior. Um Obviously Jon Snow's story completely changes because he doesn't become the central figure
Yeah.
um at the Night's Watch anymore, especially with his father now being there.
Yeah.
Um does Sansa still escape King's Landing, or does she become or and never become the political player that she ended up being at the end?
Mm.
Which is probably not the case because there's nobody there to defend her, or they treat her differently because her father's still alive.
But Sansa also, like, grew up a lot because of that too. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, would she actually have been the character, like, the kinda like by the end, she was like she's a grown woman by
Right.
the end. Like, she wasn't in Fantasyland anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a good one. That would've changed her character completely for sure.
Yes, I think it's a domino effect. I think
Yeah, it really
everybody is
is. Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody is different.
That's true.
Araya's revenge list never forms. So she doesn't
Yeah,
become the badass that she
yeah,
is because her father's still alive. She doesn't become the faceless man. Like
yeah,
she has no reasoning to be that. Then we also don't know like who she becomes in general because of her father being killed, that just sends her on her whole entire journey for the rest of the series. Literally.
yeah.
She literally has nothing else to do besides becoming the faceless man.
I mean, she always wanted to become a fighter because,
Right.
she always wanted to become a fighter, but as far as, like, the the bigness of her, like,
Mm-hmm.
how badass she really becomes and the training and all of that, I don't think that would have happened. I don't think that would have happened at all.
Right, because then who's to say that she still even get that training now that
Right,
her father is there?
exactly. She was lonely, like, she was really figuring it out.
Right, right. And then we also have Rob potentially never marches south. So the
Mhm.
War of the Five Kings looks completely different, and obviously the Red Wedding never happens,
Yeah.
which I don't think the show is the same without the
It
Red
wouldn't even
Wedding.
be the show.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
what is this filth? What is
Yeah,
this filth? And then I guess from an overall scheme is like the show loses its anybody could die reputation, because
yeah,
then it's like, all right, then we have other people who die, but then it's in a more natural sort of progression versus like, oh, y'all killed off Ned Stark, that means everybody could die. So
yeah,
it's like now I have to keep watching because something could go down and I don't want to miss it.
yeah,
And then it becomes more of a like a traditional fantasy with that clear hero, because now we have Ned Stark. If he lives, he's like obviously the central figure, versus with him dying, it's like, okay, we have John, we
yeah,
have Rob, we have Sansa and Arya, we have, all these different characters that become really pivotal,
yeah.
versus if Ned is still alive, it's like, okay, Ned Stark is supposed to fix everything. Like he's the
Mhm.
person that we're looking at.
What if Ned became king actually, though?
If Ned became king, the show is trash because we don't
What if
get.
Ned became king and everybody trying to get their get back, like Cersei and Jaime are trying to get their get back and feel like
It's
they're
not the same.
I
Because with him becoming king, that means he has the most power, which means Cersei and Jaime have to go through other means to like infiltrate and like get the revenge. And I
I
don't
told
know if
her
they get.
well, she would have found a way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same, because
Yeah.
it's like Cersei became this like villain of all time because she had the power of her sons as
Mhm.
king. So it's like, I don't know if it's the same. Which is funny that you mentioned that, because option 2 here is, what if Ned lives and he exposes Cersei and survives, of like exposing the
Yeah.
incest between her and Jaime, which means Joffrey never becomes king,
Thank
or or possibly creates a divide, and
mm,
like a civil war may happen, because we have the followers of, the
yeah.
Lannisters and
Yeah.
whoever, versus the Starks and whatnot, which is essentially kind of almost like House of the Dragon.
I was about to say because Lannisters basically have some type of pull, technically,
Right,
according to the
right,
game.
right. And then see that the Lannisters get exposed ahead of time, because it was kind of like they get to like sit behind, because it was like, oh, Joffrey's the king and we're so focused on the king and whatever. But then it's like, oh no, Cersei's really pulling the strings here, and Jaime is like her right hand man in more ways than one, who's
What is Jamie not?
and then another scenario is, what happens if Robert Baratheon lives? And like, how does that change like the complete political landscape? Because we know that Joffrey only becomes king because Robert eventually dies.
Guys, yeah, that is true. Like, what if he did find out about Jamie and Cersei, and how would that even that? Honestly, I would want to see it. I would want to see. I would want to see how he reacts to that, and him not actually not have. Well, he had a bastard. He had a hella bastard kid, so I don't
Yes,
know.
they
But
always do. They always do.
he had hella bastard kids, but like his bastard kids would never even have anything to take the throne. So like
Mm-hmm.
they'll kill
Mm-hmm.
him off,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think the show is good as is. I
Yeah.
think it played
Is it-
out the way, yeah, clearly. Like, it played out the way that it was supposed to play out. I think literally the show is the culmination, is the series of events, because Ned Stark dies.
Mhm.
Because Ned Stark dies, it puts all of his kids and bastards, or it puts everybody in their path that they're supposed to go on. And
Yeah.
it's like, without his passing, who's to say all these people don't become the people that they become, or go through the events that they go
Yeah.
through? And it's essentially, him dying is the first domino, and the
Yeah.
show plays out accordingly because of him dying and him no longer being present.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It worked out exactly how it was supposed to. I
Yeah,
can't see any
yeah,
of those working out.
yeah. I can't really see any sort of alternative in the beginning seasons, or with Ned Stark, because you could do it with anybody. Like,
Yeah.
what if Joffrey doesn't get poisoned? Like, you could do, there's so many
Yeah.
different scenarios. Yeah, like, there's so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
What if the bomb that Cersei set off backfired? Like, there's so many different scenarios that you could do it for, of like, how
Yeah.
does that change things? But I feel like the show stays the way it does, ideally, with Ned Stark passing and the dominoes falling from that sort of
Yeah.
perspective. Um, and yeah, I don't know if it still becomes. I think it still becomes a cultural phenomenon if certain changes were made. I think Game of Thrones is like the first fantasy TV series that really had uh, a cult like following. Like,
Yeah.
yes, there's been superhero shows, or there's been other sci-fi shows, but like, I feel like Game of Thrones is one of one. And I don't think there's anything else TV wise that's ever going to live up to that sort of like,
House of Dragons isn't even
yeah, like House of Dragons is cool, but it's not the same.
not even
It
close.
Yeah, like, it's just not the
Yeah.
same. Like, Game of Thrones is, as the ladies would say, it's that girl. It's that girl, and it will always remain.
Ah, right, man.
It will always remain such.
No lies for told. No lies for told. No lies for told.
Yeah. So the next show we should probably say is Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
What if Walter White got caught early? And I got another one, which is also a good one, but let's stick with that one thus far. So obviously we have multiple options in terms of pivotal moments. What if Hank finds the RV in season 3? Like,
Mm.
that completely changes things in a plethora of
Hey, I
ways.
want to watch Breaking Bad now.
And I just saw, for some reason, I think it was like an anniversary of the show itself. And
Mm-hmm.
so people been posting, or there's been Twitter channels that been posting like the scene where Hank dies. And it's like, damn, bro, like that
It was only
got
one
me.
way. It was really only one way. He had to die. Had
Yeah.
to.
And the writing is just so beautiful because, like, for those who haven't watched, so it's like Walter is begging Hank to, like, side with him, and, like, he's also begging the Nazi dude to, like, listen, he ain't gonna say anything, he's gonna keep
Yeah.
shut or whatever. And Hank, because I think he shoots him in the leg, and Hank is like, bro, you wasting your breath. He already knew 10 minutes ago that he was about to kill me.
Yeah.
And so the dude finally pulls up to him, and then Hank is popping his shit, and before he even finished the sentence, headshot. And it's like, bruh, they don't make TV like that anymore. And then
They
they do the
don't.
pan to Walter's face, and he's just crashing out. It's like,
He's fucked.
bruh,
Literally.
bruh.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, you could do so many multiple options in terms of things that could have played out differently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe had Hank
Different Breaking
found the
Bad.
RV in season 3. What if Walter's cancer progressed faster and more aggressively in the
Yeah.
first couple seasons? So it's like, how does that change him as a character? So obviously, for those who haven't watched, Walter White, played by the amazing Bryan Cranston, is a high
He know
school
how to act. That's somebody else
boy.
who really needs their flowers, because
Man,
even him, like, in Your Honor, was like so good. So
rough,
good.
rough.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But yes. Bryan Cranston plays Walter White, high school chemistry teacher, married with a son who has a physical disability.
Mhm.
He finally discovers, or he's diagnosed with cancer. And so in order to get money, because the cancer is like progressing to a certain extent, he decides to start cooking up crystal meth with one of his former students. And that just puts him on a crazy path in New Mexico. So yeah,
Albuquerque.
yes, Albuquerque. Oh boy. So some immediate changes is Walter has less time to be methodical, and then he may become more desperate and
Mhm.
lead to recklessness. We know Walter White as a character was very, very calculated, someone
Mhm.
who could easily think on his feet. But this is also over across several seasons and him doing,
Mhm.
dealing with several different experiences. Had he not, and the cancer was progressing fastly, because we also seen that in desperate times, he would do whatever. You had, killing Gus Fring. You had him letting Jesse's girlfriend die.
What
You
if
had,
what if he never even did that part? Yeah.
listen, man,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
listen. There's so many choices that
Yeah.
could have played out differently um, with Walter had his cancer progressed more quickly than it did.
Mhm.
Um, we also, probably the biggest factor is, had the cancer progress quickly, we lose that slow burn transformation. And I think that's
Yeah.
probably like the greatest aspect of Breaking Bad, is that we see this mundane, lame school teacher progress into basically the biggest kingpin in New Mexico. Like,
I know, I know. That's the crazy thing, because season 1 is like, "Oh, this is a drag."
right.
Like, "Oh my god, when's it gonna get to the good part?" Like, "Okay, he's cooking meth, he got cancer. Okay, he's in school teaching, he hates kids. What else?" But man, once he start getting to that game and making that money, changes
That's
everything.
in
Ah,
Which is why he comes up with the moniker Heisenberg, because it's
yeah,
literally a different personality.
yeah.
Um, it has bits and pieces of his subconscious in it, but the Heisenberg is night and day in comparison to who Walter White really is.
Pre-cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
Pre-cancer.
Um, And then he also has the opportunity to make sloppier decisions,
Hmm.
trying to secure the money faster, not only for his treatment, but for the family. And then also, like, it puts him in a position where does he take bigger risks that could get him caught earlier? Like,
Yeah.
he was very meticulous. Like, he had the RV out in the middle of nowhere to cook the meth. Um, does he, be a bit more, uh, taking more risk with selling and cooking the meth now that the cancer is progressing faster and having his sense of urgency sped up. Like, that's definitely a show that could go a bunch of different ways based off of
Yeah.
how the cancer would have operated. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have anything to chime in there.
No, I think he kind of said everything. It's literally so many different options that will really just
Mm-hmm.
change the show. Like, what if his wife really wasn't with, like, once she finds out?
Mm-hmm. The
Uh,
money laundering.
yeah, all of that. Like, what? How would that even look like? Because she was ready to be done with him.
She was done with him on multiple fronts, on
Right,
multiple
exactly.
times.
So it's like so many
Mhm.
things that could have happened.
Yes. I mean, there's so many ripple effects on key relationships. So
Yeah.
obviously Jesse, his right hand man,
Shit, right?
uh
Yeah.
does Walt push Jesse harder and faster, which we know he would have because he was pushing him the whole entire series,
Yeah.
especially
Until the
once he
end.
started making like crazy money.
Yeah.
Um and then he manipulates them even more in less time, because over the time, like, Jesse started to like try to look at it as a partnership, especially with how much money we were making, but Walter definitely turned where it's like, you're my subordinate, like, I'm the smarter one
He
here,
said,
and like,
"You are dumb, actually."
yeah,
Clearly.
like, I don't
Yeah.
respect you, like, I
Yeah.
only let you talk just cuz, but really I don't care.
Walter is
um
ooh, he was cutthroat.
Listen, horrible person, horrible person. And then Jesse might not have the time to see through Walt's lies before
Yeah.
it's too late, because this is over extended period of time. You've seen Walter and his behavior, but if things are like escalated first, it starts to make the red flags like
Yeah.
even more bright. And
Yeah.
then obviously their partnership becomes more volatile and more unstable because Walter is like really pushing him. And then, as you mentioned with Skylar, um, their dynamic definitely changes. Like, does he confess to her earlier
Clear. Yeah.
out of his desperation? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I need to cook this meth because
He
you
gotta go.
you got bills, I got bills. Like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And then how does that change with her having less time to uncover the truth on her own? Because this
Mhm.
one thing is like you see change behavior over a period of time, but if it's something a bit more abrupt, you might look at things differently. And then obviously, if the family confrontation that they have, because there is one point where I think they get into an argument, and I don't know if he hits her or he gets to a point where
Jesse?
no, not Jesse, Walter. I think there's a point where he either hits her or operates in a way that he is about to hit Skylar, and then
Mm,
that's when Walt Jr. steps in, and I think he grabs a knife at the same time.
yes.
And so, does their response change if this happens earlier, because
Mhm.
the cancer is like spreading even more? So
Yeah.
it's like at this point when this happens in the show, like, they've already been through so many different things. I think they've already realized that he's been cooking and selling the meth for X amount of time. So it's kind of more like, what's going on, Dad? Like, why are you doing this? Versus like, hey, this cancer really got you acting crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then obviously with Hank, does his behavior become more erratic? Like, he was pretty low key and chill about it. And then obviously once he's Heisenberg, like, he's very cocky with Hank once Hank makes the sort of discovery. But that could definitely change if Hank starts to see these signs earlier on where he's still Walter White and he's not Heisenberg yet. And like, does that make Walter like become erratic in terms of how he changes his behavior? Things become harder to find, and like, then does Hank like start to connect the dots a little bit sooner, because it's like, yo, Walter, you doing too much, bro, like, why?
I don't think I think that was one thing about Walter's character is that he was smart.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, like, every other character, I feel like the only smart other character that was comparable to Walter was Gus. Like,
Mm,
everyone else
yes.
was literally, like, not that smart. No shade.
This is true.
No
And
shade.
I mean,
And I
this.
think that's why, like, why Gus and Walter, like, they really were working very well together,
Mm-hmm.
but,
Mm-hmm.
it still
Yeah.
ended the way it did.
Yeah, because Gus because of how smart he is, that
Mhm.
means he was also unpredictable.
Mhm.
And he was also way more ruthless than what Heisenberg was. So it was
He was
like,
trying to get there, he just wasn't up there yet.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like there was still some level of moral compass there, but
yeah,
not really.
yeah,
And I mean, there's so many things that could have changed. Like the
yeah,
Empire would have never been built. There probably would have never been a Gus and Walter
yeah.
partnership. That iconic line that he tells. I think he tells. I don't remember who he tells this to. I don't remember if he tells this to Hank or he tells this to Skylar. But I'm the one who knocks. I think he told this to Skylar because I think they had an argument and she was kind of like trying to get him to like, yo, who do you think you are? And he's like, nah, baby girl.
You don't even know.
They fear me. They fear the school teacher. I'm Heisenberg. Okay.
You don't even know who Heisenberg is, yeah.
Yeah, and then also like, does he become more sympathetic as the cancer is like slowly killing him? Because I think Heisenberg really became a thing when the cancer was like in remission and it
Yeah,
was like, okay, I'm still doing this for the treatments or I'm still doing this for the money, but now I'm really doing this for the ego and like
mhm,
I have to be this type of person while I'm dealing with the cartel and Gus and all these different things, the feds and
yeah,
like I don't know if he's gonna be as ruthless if the cancer is kicking his ass the way it was the first couple
yeah,
seasons.
yeah,
So there's so many different things that changes with that. I mean, Hank, if he discovers the truth early, Walter, if he gets caught early, does Skylar still stay by his side or does she dip? Jesse's faith obviously plays out completely different because Walter was basically protecting him on so
mhm,
many occasions and so many different things that could have played out differently. Um, I don't know if this show really it has the sort of cultural phenomenon that it should have. I think it's split. I think you have people who love Breaking Bad, and I think
mhm,
you have people who's like the first season was too slow. I don't care to ever dive in and
yeah,
figure out why it gets the hype
yeah,
that it does.
yeah. I feel like Breaking Bad could potentially, like, be one of those shows that can be reran another. Because also it was, like, on AMC, I believe, is what it was on. So I
Hmm.
feel like if it was reran, like, I feel like it got better traction once it became, like, on Netflix. Like, it's definitely
Mm.
something where it could probably drop again on another network and kinda get that hype again. I feel like that potentially could like, say 30, 40 years. They wanna redrop it where if, people have kinda forgot about it, so many other things have happened. I think it would definitely get the traction that it needs by then.
Possibly, I don't know, because it is on Netflix. I
Mhm.
still feel like the argument that I typically see is like the first season is just too slow and
That
people just
thing
can't get.
is
I haven't watched it since it aired on TV, so I don't remember it
yeah,
being that slow. And then also like I like storytelling, so I like the
yeah,
build up.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
because I
that's
feel
definitely
like the
hard.
the the payoff I feel like the payoff is worth
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
then also like this is the era of like first season of TV is like 5, 6 episodes. Like people be watching trash for
yeah,
like 10, 13 episodes and still
yeah,
committing. So it's like I
yeah.
don't get why people be having that argument. So it's like,
No, I think it's like, 'cause I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I think I didn't really I binged it up until, like, whatever that last season was or something,
mhm.
and not gonna lie, that first season, I was like, "What is it really? When is it gonna get good?" when is it gonna get good? Like, when is the drug dealing and stuff gonna happen? It's not happening. And that's what somebody had said something like on Twitter. It was like, "Oh my god, Breaking Bad is just so boring. How are y'all saying this is a great show?" And I'm like, "Listen, Walter White first
Listen.
season is extremely boring. So that is
Uh-huh.
why that first season is extremely boring because he's a boring person. But once he
Right.
turns into somebody else, that's when it turns up."
Right. Because I think people got to look at it from one, the perspective of one, stop letting your ADHD kick in and like actually pay attention.
That
Like
part.
that's one. Two, like it's literally the story of transformation of like if someone's put in an impossible situation, what are you willing to do for I guess your own survival? And then I guess another layer to that conversation is when you're doing things for your own survival and it changes you, what are you capable of doing in a very unideal sort of environment and
Yeah.
perspective? Like
Yeah.
you going from somebody who's this mild mannered, family man,
Yeah.
teacher, or whatever, who's now forced to sell drugs for his own survival.
Yeah.
But we all know like selling drugs puts you into a specific environment.
Mhm.
And whether it's rappers, whether it's people that we know personally,
Yeah.
they all talk about once you're in that environment, you become a different person because there are
Yeah.
certain things that you have to do that are
Yeah.
against your moral compass. And
Yeah.
so you're watching the story of a man who essentially had a moral compass, whose moral compass eventually evaporates over
Yeah.
the course of like, I don't know how, I think the show is a
5, 6
10,
seasons.
5, 6 season, but I think it tells a story across like 10 years or whatever. I don't remember.
Okay, okay, yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
you're seeing somebody change,
Yeah.
not only how they change, how it impacts the people around them. So it's like
Yeah. I don't think people think that deep. Uh,
that part.
I don't think I don't think people think that deep. Or if people just haven't experienced life-changing things that literally change you like overnight. Like, whereas like you were this person this day, something so traumatic happened that you have to turn into somebody so completely different. So I think that's like the biggest thing with just people as a whole.
Right. Like imagine if you're married to a man and then out of nowhere you discover that he has cancer. And then he proposes that in order to pay for the chemo, because he's on a teacher salary, that he has to sell crystal meth.
Was she like a stay-at-home mom or something?
Yeah, she
Like,
was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't
no,
have
no,
no
she had
job.
like that. She had a job. It was like she had like an office job. She had an office
Didn't she
job.
get the office job after the fact?
I can't remember. Can't remember. But
Because
I did
that's
remember
when
she
she
had a
had the
job at one
affair.
point. Yeah,
'Cause
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah, that's when she had the affair. I feel like
Yeah.
she was a stay-at-home mom at first, and then she got the job because he didn't tell her about the selling meth at first. So she was
Mhm.
kind of like doing it to get money.
This is the same show where it was recorded where she was having an affair?
I believe so. I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, but it's like imagine you married to somebody, you find
Yeah.
out he has cancer, then he tells you that he's going to sell crystal meth to pay for his chemo. Then come to find out he's not tied into Mexican cartels. And so he's taking his former student as his protege. Oh, by the way, your sister, your brother-in-law, he's also a narcotics fed.
Mhm.
So
Hey, this is what he does for a living.
and you're in the middle of New Mexico,
Albuquerque. Yeah.
right?
Things
Like,
will happen. Things will
yes,
happen, they will change. So yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think those two TV shows are like the best examples of shows that like you can change specific events, and it's like, damn, how do things play out? What if Jesse got caught? Because I don't think Jesse ever got caught in that show.
Not even
Like,
not
but
'cause even like they had like the movie afterwards, like they brought back
right,
maybe.
he always escaped. Like,
Yeah.
what if Jesse got caught? You
Yeah.
know, or what if the Nazis didn't kill Hank? You know, and
Yeah.
then if I remember correctly, Once Hank finds out, things escalate very quickly. So what if Hank had found out, and instead of like pressuring Walt up front, he starts to like try to build a case like most
Mhm.
feds do of
Entrap
like,
him, yeah.
right, like
Yeah.
so many things could have happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
a couple other shows that I wanted to bring up that could also kind of fall into that category. My favorite comedy of all time, The Office. Um, what if Jim took the job at Stanford permanently? Because remember,
I never got that far. I think I never get past season 1, because I only watch it, like, when I need something to watch. I know, please, no judgment. I never get past, like, season 1, season 2.
Lord give
I'm
me
here for
strength.
laughs.
Lord
Here
give
for
me strength.
laughs, that's it.
But okay, there's a point where I think Pam declines she breaks up with Roy,
Mhm.
and then Jim finally like musters up the courage to like ask her out, but I think she declines. And
Mhm.
so out of like heartbreak or whatever, I
Okay, I
think
remember this.
Jim takes a transfer to another branch for X amount of time. Um and so that branch eventually ends up closing down, and then they merge both
Mhm.
branches. But what if he stayed there then? Because one of the few storylines throughout the show itself is like Jim and Pam and like their romance. But like
Yeah.
obviously things will play out differently if he stays at Stanford and he never has to come back to Scranton branch. Obviously Michael changes because Jim was his number two, the guy
Yeah.
that he was always trying to impress. The Scranton branch possibly closes down because, now the Scranton branch doesn't make the kind of money that it needs. And like, does the show still survive to the general audience? Because so many people were tuning in to the Jim and Pam, will they, won't they? And like,
Yeah.
if he stays at the other branch, then it's kind of like,
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
right.
They had
So
great chemistry from day 1, so yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Another show which I just started to rewatch, but I'm not really paying attention. It's kind of like background noise. But another show, Lost. So
Okay.
many things could have
Let's
played
not,
out.
'cause that's gonna get
So
I
many
would love
things.
to actually rewatch Lost, actually. That might be on my
Yes, yes. I'm not paying attention in hopes that whenever we rewatch it, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
But it's on as background noise. But what if they never opened the hatch? The hatch was such a big pivotal point
I don't
in the
remember
show.
that hatch. I don't remember.
The
I haven't
hatch is
watched it, like, in years.
the hatch is what they discovered. I forget what season, but Locke became obsessed with the hatch and like trying to open it, and then that's when they find Desmond, and then they spent like almost a whole season having to punch in the numbers every time, and then
I
and
recall.
then what's his face? I forgot. Jack was like, why are we pressing these numbers? We don't know what it does. And like, let's stop pressing the numbers. And then I think he holds somebody at gunpoint, if I remember correctly. And they didn't press in the numbers, and like everything starts shaking. And then another plane actually crashes because of some like magnetic field because they didn't press the numbers in time. And it's like, what if they never open the hatch? Like so many things play out because of that. And then Desmond, who's a very pivotal person in the show because he's
Uh-huh.
like the only person who like, because the show plays a lot with time travel, he's the only person that travels through time in the show. And like, if his character is never introduced, so many things don't get solved because of it.
Mhm.
And then does it retain the audience because they then lose focus on the show itself,
Yeah.
because it shifts from like a time travel sort of thing to like, okay, now it's survival of the fittest sort of
Yeah.
vibe that it originally started off with. And it's
Yeah.
like, how much longer can you kind of play that out?
Yeah.
And so it kind of loses direction, and then you can also lose your audience in that way.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things that could have played out in that. And I don't know if you have any other. Well, you say you haven't watched in a while, so I don't know if you have
Yeah.
anything that you
No,
could
I
remember
haven't
from there.
watched that in forever. I couldn't, like, if I watched Lost today, it'd be like a brand new show for me. So, yeah, it's been a long, like, Lost is what kicked me off for, like, I love watching TV. Binge, yes, I love it here.
And
Okay,
then
I have one. Are we still on
okay.
loans?
Yes.
Oh, okay, keep going.
Oh. No, if you have one, go ahead.
I
Go
have
ahead.
one because I see this a lot. I hear people talking about it a lot right now. It must be that season to rewatch Insecure.
Mm.
What if Lawrence actually does stay with Issa after he finds out that she cheated on him with Daniel? How would that would change the whole entire show. The whole entire show.
Yes, because she doesn't get her own personal experiences outside of that. And outside of him, like getting a new job and having a baby, he don't really do that much. Be quite
Like he
honest.
eventually like woo woo never really becomes a thing for real.
Yeah, like
Like he gets a new job, like he elevates, but Issa would have never, never, ever, ever elevated the way she did.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. I feel
No.
like
Yeah.
that's a
She
fair
would have
one.
never obviously she would never met Nathan. She never would
Hmm.
have lived on the couch, really grinded it out. She probably would have never quit her job. And we got y'all. Like it's like the ending will have never happened where obviously they're meant to be, so they're gonna be together. So
Right,
that
right,
would have never have been the story at all.
right.
That
Which
was
is, I think, it's a perfect example of like, though he had to find out and he had to leave in order for them both to grow and for the show itself to like keep its legs, because
yeah.
otherwise we just watching a couple just go through normal shit, and I don't know
If that would be a
uh
great TV.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know if that's
maybe because people have delusional versions of what relationships are, but hey, that's just my opinion.
it sounds like a shot, but okay. Do you have another example of a show?
I'm done.
So- the only other option I wanted to put on here was The Walking Dead, another one of my favorite shows, even though it definitely declined after season 6. But a big central part of the show early on was Rick and Shane were like these brothers by association,
Mhm.
who ended up being rivals because they had different, I guess, ideologies on how they wanted to exist in a post-apocalyptic world. And as a reminder for you or anybody that hasn't watched in a while, eventually Shane starts to lose it and become like very radical to the point where Rick has to unfortunately kill, his brother.
Mm.
Um, but what if had Shane lived? We keep the amazing actor John Berthal for the rest of the series, and then we see their rivalry and how that plays out long term on whether, does Shane eventually leave and create his own group of survivors? Do they stick together and like create some sort of like civil war of like people who
Mhm.
follow Rick, people who follow Shane?
Mm.
Lori's story Lori's story completely changes because, as a reminder, Lori's story, because they assume Rick was dead because he was in a coma during the apocalypse, she ends up being romantic with Shane. How does
Mm.
that play out
That's
if
messy.
I be trying to tell people are like, zombies. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
never
it's
got
just
past like after season 1, I was like, oh, thank God I made it. I never got
it's
past.
it's it's more than just zombies.
Okay.
It's more drama than just zombies. But yeah, Lori's story completely changes because now she, as a reminder for you, she's pregnant. So there's
Mm.
always is it Shane's baby? Is it Rick's baby? That we never really got the answer for. She tells Rick that it's his baby, but there's never any confirmation in any sort of lore. So it's like, how does that play out? Because now she's pregnant, the child is
Mm.
around, but both
Mm.
both of them are alive. It's easy for Rick to assume
Yeah,
that he's the daddy because Shane is dead at this point. But
exactly. Because he gonna be daddy regardless. He is the daddy.
right, how
He
does
tells
Shane
us.
operate
Yeah.
knowing that
Mm.
that potentially is his child? How does Carl, Rick's son, deal with this of like, hey, my half sister is
Woo.
actually not even blood for real. She only half blood because my
Mm.
mom's was out here being
Oh,
loose.
see, we're not gonna hold shame now.
Oh, I mean, let me ask you this. Let me ask you
I
this.
want
Let me ask you this then.
what?
Well, obviously you're married. Let's play that out. Your husband is a police officer.
Okay.
His best friend is, his partner.
Okay.
They get, they pull some dude over, it was shootout or whatever. He gets shot. He ends up in a coma.
Mm.
Around the time of the coma, we now hit the apocalypse. The world falls apart.
Okay.
Your husband's partner slash best friend vowed that no matter what, he would always protect his family. So he, instead of, going to check to see if homeboy made it in the hospital, he goes and protects you and your kid. You and your dog, you and Bailey. He goes to protect y'all.
Yeah, you're
Would
annoying.
you would you would you end up having romantic feelings for this best friend?
I guess depending how long.
I think he was in a coma for like 3 months.
Oh, that's not long. That's not long. That's not
Right,
long. That's not
right.
long. That's not long.
So, cause the show, cause I think middle way in the first episode, he wakes up in the hospital. Obviously, everybody's gone. Everybody's dead in the hospital. So, he
There by
assumed,
itself?
yes, he was there by
Oh
himself.
wow. I might tap in.
Listen, man, it's on the list. It's on our list.
I might have to tap in. Okay. I'll wait.
But yeah. So it's like there's definitely a question of like what is the appropriate time for you to move on? Because at this point, it's been a few months. You guys been living on the road.
That's not
You
long.
assume that your husband is now dead because
Of the
Atlanta
apocalypse.
is down. Like
Yeah.
like there is no human society.
Yeah. I mean, I get that because it's like it's the end of the world. Like I gotta move on my life too. Mama got a life, needed a life
But
too.
then there's also the question of like, why are we all having unprotected sex in the
That's always gonna
apocalypse?
happen. It's always gonna happen, child. It's always gonna happen. People gonna
I
be
mean,
they've been doing it raw since how
I
long?
mean, I mean,
I
hey,
just don't know.
hey.
This is
So, I mean, I wanted to propose a few like hot takes or things
okay.
there of before we wrap this up of like alternate timelines,
Mm-hmm.
scenarios. So, what would be a what if scenario which would actually make for better TV? I don't know if the insecure option is the option that you want to go with of like a what if scenario of like, okay, what if Lawrence,
For a better
uh,
TV?
yes, of like, okay, this would actually make for better TV. Maybe not like in comparison to how the show played out, but like, okay, if this happened, like this is still would have been good TV.
That's hard. That's actually a really hard question because I feel like every show that I've watched, I feel like they've played out exactly how they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Insecure would be obviously that's really a good one for sure. I'm thinking about Grace. I don't know. I'm thinking about Grace so much, but that's infinity. It's a plethora.
I'll give an option for you because my option is gonna be what if Shane survived The Walking Dead.
Okay, yeah.
My option I'll give for you, what if Brody didn't get killed by the terrorists and he carried out his actions? He carried out his orders on Homeland.
Oh, like right before he died.
Mm-hmm. What if he actually ended up killing the president?
Oh, like what? Oh, and like the first bomb, the first bomb, the first bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's
And
actually a good one because I think that'd have been great TV, actually.
what if he actually ended up killing the president, still finding a way to flee the country, and now Claire and the
If
rest of
you're a
them
bomb, if you're a suicide bomb, you're not surviving that. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
die.
it was a suicide bomber.
Yeah,
What if he flipped it? It wasn't a suicide, but like he
like he's just
still
a
got
regular
the president.
bomb.
He got the president up out of here. Was able to flee the country, and now they had to track him down. But he's already back with the terrorists.
That'd have been good TV because then you would have seen like him as an actual terrorist, like really be infiltrated and all of that. No, that'd have been really, really good. Really,
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
And then,
And Carrie still would have been next to him, even though
of course,
she probably would have been hunting him down.
Of
He would have
course,
hunted him
she
down.
gonna stay by her man.
Ooh, she
She gonna stay by her
loved
man.
and
No matter
very
no
cheesy.
matter what war crimes they commit, she's staying by her man.
She loved her some Brody. Ooh, Jesus, please.
But here's some other like alternate timelines that for some TV shows that we covered that could have potentially happened and probably would have ruined them for the worse. So Breaking Bad,
Okay.
originally they wanted Matthew Broderick as Walter White
Who was
instead of
that?
he's married to Sarah Jessica Parker.
I hate. I don't know anybody.
Um
Matthew
what
who?
Matthew
Broad?
Broderick. He was in Ferris Bueller.
Okay, no. Pulled
I'm
him up
sure
instantly, and I said,
I'm sure you've seen him in
I
something.
I have, and I said no immediately.
He's been on
Oh
TV forever. Well, he's kind of been. I feel like he's been on Broadway forever.
no,
But I
he
feel
ain't.
like I know he's known for
I
Ferris
think
Bueller.
they picked the correct guy.
Yes, yes. I could
Correct.
not see him.
No, not even
They
close.
they wanted him or John Cusack, which I don't know anything prominent. John
John
Cusack is.
Cusack.
I don't know anything prominent John Cusack has been. I've seen him in like a couple
Rachel
stuff. You've
Cusack.
seen his face, but definitely nobody. He definitely would not have done it ideally in the same manner that Bryan Cranston had done it. Yeah, no.
I could potentially see him. He would be a good second runner up, but they picked exactly
Nah,
what they were supposed to, and
nah.
that's
I
serious.
think the cheat code, and I brought it up, was like because Bryan Cranston was more known for Malcolm in the Middle. It's like, what is this? What are he doing here? And then it's like, oh, okay, this is serious TV. And then we see how he evolves in the show. It's like completely different, completely different. Also, Vince Gilligan, who's the creator and I guess the main writer for Breaking Bad, he originally planned to kill Jesse early on. Jesse was supposed to die in season 1. Yeah.
I can't see Walter playing out everything without having someone next to him because
Yeah.
he's officially a loser. Like he don't know nothing about the streets, nothing about
Right.
selling drugs. Like he would not have he would have got caught by season 2.
Right. And I think it provided, outside of just his family, it provided somebody else for Walter to like betray or mistreat. And we get to
Mm-hmm.
see like how horrible of a person Heisenberg really
Actually is.
is.
Like
Cause
who
like, yeah, cause he didn't really, I don't think he ever cheated on Skylar outside of like lying and,
yeah,
being just like not there. He didn't really do anything else to Skylar or Walt Jr. But
yeah.
Jesse is like he abused that boy. He
Hated him.
abused that boy.
He hated him.
And then another one on here for Lost. Originally, they had Jack was supposed to die in the pilot, and Kate was supposed to be the leader.
A woman leader.
I mean, I'm open to a woman leader. I don't think Kate would have
But I don't.
been.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it would not have been compelling enough for me. Because especially they kind of use Kate as more of like a love interest back and forth
Yeah,
versus like somebody who was more prominent in the group per se.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't think any of these shows would have been better
No.
had they had those original changes.
Yeah, no.
But I'll ask you one last question because I know we're almost at time. Do you believe that the most devastating moments are the most necessary for great TV? Because it's like we have all these TV shows that we clamor, like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Lost, True Detective. Like
Yeah.
even for people who put it to that standard, Sopranos. Like all these TV shows have like specific moments or specific episodes that just stick with you forever. Do you feel like these moments are necessary for a TV show to be great? Like, can you be considered great, but like you could be a really good TV show and just like cruise control, but like, can you be considered like great without like these what the fuck moments?
Not for dramas. That's why it's called drama.
Okay.
It's like for dramas, character development is actually extremely important. Like, if you're not seeing a 180 in the character by the end, like the main character by the end of the season series, you didn't do what you needed to do throughout the whole entire series. I feel like even with life, like I said, people really don't understand like going through something and it completely changing you overnight just because of something that like you can never go back to that person who you used to be. So it's just like it's like real life. Like that's just how we as human beings develop into
Hmm.
that character, like just going through stuff and it just changing our views and all the things. So no.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. I think as you were talking, I was like, what is there a TV show that was like I would consider great that didn't have like crazy moments? And no, like even like a Ted Lasso, which is
Mhm.
considered really good TV, didn't really have like crazy moments. It was,
Yeah.
solid all around. And then, it got to the finish line. Or even an older show that got a lot of praise back in the day, Mad Men. Mad
Mm,
Men didn't really blow me away. I know
yeah.
my
People say it's
homegirl,
so good. Somebody been trying
yeah,
to yeah, "Oh my god, you gotta watch it." I'm like, "Ah."
I was never like, I watched it because my homegirl Cindy used to tell me about it all the time.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, I could see why this was good or why it gained the audience because it's a timepiece and it was
yeah,
really accurate to depict like how people operate in that span. But it was
yeah.
like, there was nothing really crazy that happened. It was like all the things that happened on the show were things that I could possibly see happen in real life or I
Mhm.
know happen in real life, even like a Sopranos. Sopranos didn't really blow me away because it's like if you hear
Never
one mob
looking at,
story,
like,
you heard
really
them all.
that's you know what? That's very I feel like the biggest change in Sopranos was when Pussy became a snitch. But, like, other than
But
that
even that is not
yeah,
surprising.
yeah, no,
Every well, you talk about black people in gangs, you talk about white Sons of Anarchy. What's his face was a
yeah,
snitch the whole
Opie.
time.
Yeah,
Opie.
yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I don't think Opie was a snitch. Jack or Jax, the main one.
Max did become at the end, he did, and
Yeah, yeah.
he did,
He
yeah.
was talking to the feds the whole time. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously he was manipulating them, but he was
yeah,
still talking to the feds the whole
yeah,
time. So it's
yeah.
like snitching is not that's not gonna wow me. It's like he told like that's what they
Somebody got
typically
to.
do. That's what they typically
I I
do.
I too would have snitched if I needed to.
Yeah. So it's like stuff like that doesn't blow me
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the dramas of like the Game of Thrones of like killing a main character in the first episode or Rob Stark who's like, oh, okay, like we get to ride with him and then the red wedding kill him
Yeah, yeah,
and shorty was pregnant, like
yeah,
bruh,
yeah, and his mom.
and his mama too,
Yeah,
and his mama too.
yeah.
Like those are the things that separate you and put you at the cream of the crop in comparison to everybody
Character
else.
development, I gotta see it. If I don't
Yeah.
see it, I'm not liking it.
Yes, like
Period.
you gotta tell me a story that
Yeah,
I'm going to assume is gonna go one way, and then some way, somehow, it goes completely left, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I couldn't have predicted that. I
yeah,
couldn't have predicted that.
yeah.
But that was a very long episode of us discussing a bunch of what ifs. Um, Definitely deep dived a little bit more than what we were supposed to, but that just goes to show like one, we love TV, two,
Yes.
we love storytelling, and then
Yes,
three, when it's very deep, there's so many different routes, and you can see like the dominoes and how it just
yeah.
changes things all around. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you haven't thus far, please go subscribe. Well, not subscribe, but sign up for our Discord. I'm gonna
Oh,
be on
yeah,
there,
yeah.
talking to the good people, having the disagreements and telling them they're wrong about their TV opinions and film
I
opinions.
tell y'all.
Yeah. And then because we also do this show like 2 weeks in advance, I'm also gonna try to like create forums so you guys could like have conversations about
Mm,
stuff that is currently airing. So because we don't necessarily cover stuff at the same time.
yeah.
But yeah, and there's gonna be more in there too, gets your insider information for sports betting and places to go, like,
First study.
yes, man, we gotta give the people everything. Gotta give
I
the people.
I am gonna sign up actually.
I mean, you should. You are the co-host.
If y'all don't give me some parlays, I might have to.
I mean, listen, man. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk. But yeah. So make sure you sign up, log into the Discord, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube, leave some comments, leave some likes. We need the likes. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Amazon Music. We everywhere, man. We everywhere. We in your home. We on your phone. We on your tablet. Like, you can't get rid of us. Can't get rid of us.
Actually, unfortunately.
Listen, if you ask us to leave, I refuse. Your request has been denied.
Nowhere. Thank you.
Your request has been denied. Yeah. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week. Hopefully, we have a new show to recap. If not,
we will actually. Oh, well, let's see, because Steven, tough critic. I thought I was terrible. Steven's even worse.
Whoa. I'm not the worst critic here. I don't even know what that comment. You know what? We'll talk offline, because I don't know what that comment is based on, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm just speaking my truth.
Now it's just speaking your truth. Got it. Heard you. You know what? We're out of here. I'm ending this.
Bye.